Where the thinking and doing become being. That's the experience that many are talking about right now in different ways. This morning I woke to a weight of sadness upon me, or so it felt. It felt like a heaviness on my chest and just generally on me. And I found, not for the first time, but I felt that I didn't need to go into that sadness and try to understand its roots or analyze it. And it almost felt as if not only that I didn't need to, but that it simply, that information wasn't there to be processed in that way anymore, if that makes any sense at all. So I thought I'd share this with you because I'm sure that many of you are feeling this way too. So there's been a time, obviously, when so many of us have tried to understand our story and brought awareness to the things that trigger us and the aspects that rise up in our experiences in terms of what we're creating in our lives. And so we've done that process, and that's a long and arduous process, let's say, of seeking clarity and also seeking release. But a few things are coming together in my mind this morning. So, back to the sadness, I simply sat with it, and while I was sitting with it, I understood something, and it's what I referred to in the video I made, A Way to Meet Pain, which is that if we don't assign it a meaning, if we don't give that sadness some sort of title, some sort of grand title of importance, or any title at all, then we experience it very differently, and we have therefore not attached to it. I did not. And it flows through us. It has perhaps a color, it has perhaps a texture, a sensation, or many sensations. As everything does, we are still sensory beings, and we experience things, but we don't need to necessarily give it that meaning, that construct. And if you're not attaching to that identity as one who experiences sadness, or your ego isn't attaching to I'm feeling sad, then in fact it's just a quality passing through us. And so it did. And others, not just myself, have been talking about how this is a time of, to put it in simple terms, where the thinking and doing become the being. So this is a time of embodying these things that we have understood. And, I read something really interesting and beautifully written and very profound about as long as you're seeking enlightenment, as long as you're seeking awakening, it can only ever be coming from the ego, because that which already is, which is you, does not seek in that respect. It is. And so bringing those thoughts together, I hope I can, it seems to me very much that this house that we've come to understand, this house which is our human experience through ego, through identity or persona, that we've done a tremendous amount of exploring every room and every corner, and understanding why we don't like this room, or why this space reminds us of that space and brings us back to this experience. And as we let go of the attachment to those rooms and those experiences in those rooms, and indeed the house, well, it's interesting because the house kind of disappears, and we realize that we're not that house, and that house is not us. So don't know if that's explained it for you, but this seems to be the experience of the time. So what I wanted to say to you is, if you don't feel the need to go into and delve into these emotions rising up, trust that instinct, trust that intuition of yours. You will know whether you need to go and follow it through and meet it, or whether you've done enough of that and it's and you're not avoiding something, but there's no need. you're ready to embody the learning that you've been acquiring all along, which will allow you to see the house for what it is, which is not there at all.